Welcome to this look at a new map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. This is BZURA. This is a new map by Pavelk20 and UnbelievaBoat. It is 271.1 megabytes to download. It's a Polish map. It looks like this. On New Farmer, what do we start with? Well, there are 5 main farms. We start with, I think each of them, we've got 5 highlighted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I just said 5. Oh yeah, there's 2 there. Yeah, 5 farms is what we start with. Each one of those farms has a sleep trigger. Those 5 sleep triggers and all the animal pens are fixed in place. You can't move them, can't do anything with them. The playable part of the map is the center. If I click on the periphery, you can buy it for 1,040,913, which includes some of the sale points in the middle. But what is playable is the whole section in between all of that. Field prices on that are actually pretty good. Going from, I mean, there are some tiny fields like 47, 8 grand up. And then we've got bigger fields out at the edges, like field 28, 305 grand, which has a bit of forestry with it. Sawmill down the bottom, you can't actually access that bit of the forestry. That's part of the periphery of the map. I'm not quite sure why, because that is shown like that. If I click on it, it goes to the periphery. So we start with the 5 farms, 5 sleep triggers, all animals fixed in place. Field prices not too bad at all. We do have a biogas plant, which is just there. It's only 17 grand to buy, and that's a standard biogas plant. Nothing over and above, or extra crop types or anything like that. First, you can probably notice it's 10 o'clock in the morning. You start at 10. Some maps you start much earlier in the morning. This one you start at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is one of those ones that, I mean, it's not too bad, but the shadows are a bit dark, a little bit. What I do like though is the texture palette, or the color palette. It's got that slightly washed out, muted sort of color palette. I'm a big fan of that. I do like it. There are some great details on this map, and to say it's a fascinating one. I really like the layout of this one. Now, that's not to say it is a little bit clunky in places. We've got some kind of sharp edges here and there that aren't smoothed out, and same with some of the roads and things like that. But I'll be honest with you, that I personally think can be forgiven because of the map. My own personal opinion. First of the sale points we're going to come to is this one just here. Zlotowek. This is for your eggs and milk, just there. Next door to that, we're going to go to the main store. We don't actually start at one of the farms. We start pretty much slap bang in the middle, really. Now, my Polish is awful in so much as pronunciation and that kind of thing. But that, I'm not going to say it. Used agricultural machinery. This is the main store point. Your buy point is just here. Your customize sell repair point is just there. Buy point is there. This is also the reset point. So anything that gets stuck that needs to be reset will be reset from here. I am going to lease a pickup. Perfect. To go on the map. So back to the map again. So we do start just here at that little kind of open, it's not market, but little sort of shopping area type thing. We just walked up the road there to Zlotowek store, and then we've got a few of these workshop triggers, and there are a few knocking around the map. I think there's one a little bit further down there. There's one a bit further up north of the river just there for your workshops. Now I'm trying to think the route round I was going to go. Yes, I remember now. To take in all of the sell points and the farms as efficiently as I possibly can. Now, this has no custom crops. It does have contracts available. As far as mods go, that the map maker has added in, there's one, and that's the silos that you're going to see around all of the farms. And there's a small silo, 100,000 litres, and it takes your standard crop types. That's the only mod that has been put in by the map maker. As far as slot count goes, we're not going to get to the farm for a little while actually. It's got all of the This is the only problem I came across earlier. The traffic doesn't stop either. Yeah, the farm with all the machinery is we're going to get to that a little bit later on. But the slot count on new farmer, farm manager and start from scratch is 544. It's identical in all three game modes. There's another car coming. Doesn't say this is one way, but I'm starting to get the feeling. You see what I mean about the shadows? I know for some people that's an absolute, you know, that's it, game over sort of thing. But this is one of those maps, I don't know. Whoa, okay. You know, some maps you go around and you think, oh, I'm never, I will always mention it, and sometimes you'll get into the dark areas and it is very dark. It's never for me been that much of a problem. I don't personally think, but again, let's say, everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Turning in here, the next to sale points we come to is, I want to get this right, this is the Skup U Fabushaka, I think it is. Told you it was going to be terrible. So from here we've come out along this road, round the roundabout to here. Skup U Fabushaka, I think it is. From here we're going to head down and we're going to head to, I think, the sawmill next, taking in some of the countryside. Did I say it's seasons ready? It is seasons ready. Now some of the roads, like I said, there are some bits that are a little bit clunky, and when you see the traffic coming along, in places it kind of goes up onto the grass verges. But then you've got some really great details. Like I say, I like the landscaping, I like the layout. Now again, I've tried my best with regard to translations. I do try and check with multiple sources now. Just using Google Translate doesn't always work that well. So I do try to cross-reference where I can. When we get to this point here, if I'm not mistaken, that sign there says, I'm not saying it in Polish, a shopping centre will be built here. I think what it means, basically that's what's being built. Right there. It's going to be a shopping centre of some description, which is under construction at the moment. Now some of the roads on the map that show as roads are just dirt tracks, in all honesty, because I went sailing past a few times as I was whizzing around the map trying to get my bearings. But from here, yeah, I don't know what it is. I have always liked, you get it mostly, I think it is mostly on the Polish maps. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. This slightly muted colour palette, I think it is mostly, yeah, where am I going? That way. Yeah, mostly Polish maps, I think. So, down to the sawmill. Which is here, but the other thing as well I'm finding I like with this one, and again with a lot of the Polish maps, not just Polish maps, but is the kind of originality of it. I know a lot of people say, yeah, but they all look the same and feel the same. They don't. They have a similar kind of feel to them, but it's the originality of the buildings and the layouts and stuff that I like. Again, it's not that kind of plonked down, here's a generic biogas plant, wallop, here's this building, wallop. You know, I like that feel to it. So login point just there, wood chip sell point just there. From the sawmill, we'll check the map again later on. Don't you worry. I know some people hate me doing it. Some people, I get comments saying, oh, you should show us on the map so we can see where we are in relation to, you know, it's all well and good showing us the sell points, but whereabouts is that on the map? So I will always try to cater for everybody if I can. Heading north, we're going to come up to a cluster of buildings, which are the first two farms we're going to look at. I will pull up between the two, just there. So, what I'm calling farm number one, it's not labelled as farm number one, this is just the first one I'm coming to. This is the sheep farm, Yes. Like I say, each one of these has a sleep trigger. If we go to there, so we have a sleep trigger. We have a silo. I think the silo, this one's around the back. We've got loads of buildings. At each of the farms there are loads of buildings. Plenty of barn space. Lots of drive-through barns. You can see what I mean about them being quite dark. I don't think any of the barns have got lighting. I haven't come across any light switches anywhere. But this is the silo. So that's at all 5 farms. You'll find one of these. And as I said, it is the only mod that's been put in by the map maker. There you go. Grain silo, 100,000 litre capacity, 50 grand to buy. Takes your regular crop types. If we go back around the yard, we've got the sheep. Where's the dialogue box? Is it the other end? That's where your wool pallets will spawn, just there. Yeah, dialogue box is here. This will hold 10 sheep. And you've got feed triggers inside, and weirdly with this one, the water trough is around the outside. You come right the way around here, and the water trough for that is just here, along the outside. Which brings us back out of the yard for Farm 1. Farm 2 is right next door. This is a horse farm, stables. Again, with the sleep trigger, with the silo. Sleep trigger, I think it's around the front on this one. Go through the front garden. Up the steps. Yep. And then again, more barn and building space. There's plenty, and I think it's... yeah, here is your dialogue box. This will take 10 horses. There's various triggers. I think that's the bedding one, because I'm pretty sure when we come out the other side, we've got our feed trough and we've got a water trough just there. So this is the paddock for the horses, just around the side for your 10 horses. Again, more barn and building space. There's no machinery or anything in these ones. I'll show you when we get to the farm that has them. Plenty of opportunity as well if you're going to go with the kind of storyline, if you want to, of using landscaping tools to get rid of all the weeds and stuff out in the yards. If you want to, you know, you've just taken on the farm, that kind of thing. If you want to go down that route. From here then, I think next is the chicken farm. There's some really stunning scenery. I was going around and there's a river that runs up the left hand side of the map and then goes across the middle. And I was kind of just wandering about trying to find something that would make a nice thumbnail. And there were so many spots where you kind of look out across the countryside and it's just got a lovely look to it. The fields, there are so many of them. And again, it's one of those maps, like a lot of the Polish ones, where they're small plots, but you have got that ability to plough them together to make bigger fields if you want to. A lot of them do have trees between them, but there are various different mulchers and stump grinders and various different things that can remove trees pretty quickly if you don't want them. And then you've got some peculiar features, which again, I say peculiar enough to never really come across it before, but it kind of again adds to the quirkiness of the map. Is like this, we've got a track that runs up and you've got this little bit of trees, which I'm assuming like the sort of narrative with that would have been they were planted as a kind of little protected nursery, and the trees obviously grown and grown. Just this little area fenced in, and the track that I'm following just goes through here and out the other side. If it wasn't there, it wouldn't make any difference, but it is, and it just adds a little, like I say, just a little quirkiness to the whole thing. Next farm is the chicken farm. We're going to drive into the yard. Feed trough is to the left. Egg boxes spawn to the right. Swing around there. Sleep trigger is just there. And your silo is there. Again, with plenty of barn and building space for your equipment and machinery if you want to be a chicken farmer. The actual dialogue box for chickens is around this side. I'm going to need to open these gates because I'm going out that way. When I'm done, dialogue box is just there for your chickens. This will hold 100. I did write it down. Yes, 100. 100 chickens here at the chicken farm. Should have left the engine running. Moving on. I think it was right then left, I think. Pretty sure it was, yes. So, up the hill through the trees. I'm going to put it that way and then swing round because we're going to need to go back the other way. This side of the road, Biogas Plant, which I said was what, 17 grand, just over 17,000. 2 silage clamps just here. That trigger box, there's no pipe, I'm assuming that's where you get your digestate from. And then your sell point is this very large container just here, which is going to require some putting into, unless of course it allows you to tip in front. I don't think it opens or anything like that, I can tell. Maybe it's here at the front you tip into. No, that's blocked off. Yeah, it's going to have to be into there, isn't it? So that's your biogas plant. And then the other side of the road, we have got lime buy point just there, and sell point just here, which is Skup Zakodny, which I think is west buying. So it's basically the west buy point. I think that's right. So back to the map. Where were we? So we came down the road, past here, which was where they're building the new supermarket. We came around the sides here and down to the sawmill, up from the sawmill to the main road here, farm 1, farm 2, sheep, horses, came round the corner and up there, across up there, through that little wooded bit, fenced in nursery. Chicken farm just there, out of the chicken farm round there, biogas plant, lime station, and Skup Zakodny. We're now going to head out to the cow farm. Which is why I turned it round. I guess we need to go this way. Bit of a drive. I think I need to take a fork. I'll just carry straight on. Yes, I think I carry straight on. There's a few of these marshy areas with water in the bottom of them. And we come up on farm number 4. So I mean about the traffic, every now and again, like there, it's just a little bit clunky. Right, let's pull up there. Lovely details with the church and the walled garden for the church. Looks great. Into the gate. Sleep trigger, he's just there. Silo, just there. This is the farm that has all the machinery and equipment. Tucked all over the place. This is also the cow farm. Milk point is just there. Dialogue box is here. Cows. This only takes 7 cows. I thought I was going mad, but yeah, just 7. Triggers inside. 1 for bedding, I think. 1 for water. There'll be 1 for feed. The river on the map runs down the back. If we come out the back here, we've got a manure point just there, slurry point just there, and the rest of the machinery is tucked around in various different buildings. But again, it's that kind of ramshackle kind of, you know, everything's just got a place and it all fits in wherever it's needed. So as far as start machinery goes, we've already said the slot count's 544 and it's the same on all three game modes. We go to garage, we've got a New Holland T5 100, Fendt Favourite 511C, the Bison Super Z056, Strautmann SEK 802 trailer, header for the harvester, plough, seeder, a couple of weights, and then the 5 silos. That's all you start with. The slot count there says 553 because I've leased the pickup. So just in case anyone's wondering why the slot count's out. Now, if you decide you want to set all the starter gear, you can get the slot count down to 462. If you want to get the slot count down a little bit, you can. And you get it down to 462. So that's the cow farm. From here, I'm going to head north. Over the river. And then I think it's right, yeah. Right turn in here. I don't think any traffic comes on here, so I'll just leave the vehicle in the road. But we have got, if I say this correctly, Scup Bel Upumi. This is the Bales sell point. Scup Bel Upumi. Yeah. Bale sell point is just here. Now on the main road, we have got Sklep Polnoshny North Store, I think is what it means, or the northern store, because we are at the northern part of the map. And that sell point is just there, the Sklep. So from here, I need to take the track again, I think. Yes, this track here. And we will come to, let's just turn in. We've got the spinnery sale point, just there. Livestock market, just under here. So if you want to come and collect the animals yourself, you absolutely can. Spinnery's just there. Let's go back to the map. So from the biogas plant, we came back down along that road and took the fork, up here to the cow farm. Then we went out from there, crossed the river, took a right there, Bale sale point, Sklep Polnoshny, sorry. Then the fork out there, spinnery, animal dealer. Now we head south a little bit now to the last farm, which is the pig farm. And then we've got a fuel station and a workshop. But it's little bits, when we get down to there, as we finish off, just little details to the map. Again, you know, it's difficult to say, is it perfect? No. I mean, like I say, there are some clunky bits here and there. But then there are some great bits and some great details, and the colour palette and the crop textures all look great. It has a really lovely feel to it. Have I just gone past? I have, haven't I? Yeah, too busy talking. Pig farm is the last one. As you can imagine, it has a silo and it has a sleep trigger. The silo is just there. Sleep trigger is just here. Each one of these farms has been slightly different, with different layout, different sleep trigger building. Barns here, if we go through the barn out the other side, we come to the pigs. We've got the manure point just there, slurry point just there, dialogue box just here. Now this one as well, this only takes 4 pigs. Yeah, just 4 pigs. You can't really go very far with that, because once you get your 4, you're what's the word for it? The only thing that pigs produce is more pigs. And if you get 4, the reproduction rate's not going to be great, and then you're not going to get any more. So I'm not quite sure how that works. I mean, it's a very small building, so I suppose with seasons maybe it would do a bit more. But your trigger's just inside. with some more barn space just off to the side. I don't know if it's just me. I think maybe as well, you know what it's like, and if you watch my channel and watch my videos regularly and my map tours, I get to that point every now and again where I'm hankering to get away and get out into the countryside, and my disappearing off to the Lake District every now and again, because I need that reset. I think I'm getting to that point, So when I'm going around the maps, I'm looking at the scenery and I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm thinking, oh, it's great, and it gives me that feeling of wanting to get away. But I don't know if that's chicken and egg. Is it the map that's making? I mean, yes, it is the map that's making me feel that. But I've obviously got those feelings anyway. But then there's other map tours I've done recently that haven't made me feel that. So, Fuel Point is just there. We do have a workshop trigger just there for repair work, so you can treat it as a garage if you want to. And then from here, this is what I mean about these little features. It's just this little side turn. Now, it could have just been a side turn and it just turned off and forked down, but I don't know, it's a small thing, but it all adds to the charm and the layout of the map. So from here, we are going to head over the bridge again, back over the river, which will bring us pretty much back to the first sail point we went to, which was Zlotowek, wasn't it? Zlotowek. And the fire station, which is just coming up. And that's the map. That's BZURA by FS19 and UnbelievaBoat. Hope you found this map tour useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.